Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Monday, July 11th, 2021. We're in the first day of the new trading week, and we are in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour is my favorite time to make my buying and selling decisions because during the day you have day traders and algorithms. They are the ones that are in control of the price. I consider it noise. At the end of the day, the large financial institutions come in, they take control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms, and I consider following what they do at the end of the day as a long-term edge in your trading. So thank you for coming today. I hope you had a nice weekend, had fun, stayed safe, maybe studied charts a little bit, but here we are again, new trading week, first day of the trading week. So the index is at the moment, the Dow is down 45 points, down 0.14. It was down much larger earlier. The NASDAQ is down 132 points. It is down 1% today, so that's getting the worst of it. And the S&P is down 17.8 points, down 4.6%. So kind of a crazy day. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did not have any day trades today, so I don't have any day trades to share with you. And then we are going to go over and we are going to take a look at the board and see how your positions are doing. I'm looking over there. I see some green, I see some red. It's kind of a mixed bag, but we'll go over and take a look and see how everyone's doing with their position. After that, we're going to come back. I'll talk a little bit about trader psychology. I like to talk about it every day. It's the most important skill you'll ever develop in trading. Remember that. It's not your entries, exit strategies. You have to know about trading. You have to know about good trading principles, but knowing about them and putting them to use is a whole other thing. So, we learn about trading here so we can create a trading plan, but following that trading plan, that's the hard part. And if you're having issues and problems not being able to follow it, then that's something you need to work on, the most important thing you need to work on. After that, I have gone down through the results of my watch list, have gone down through the results of Kamal Scanner, and there are some potential end-of-day candidates. I have 3 requirements whenever I'm looking to enter a trade. First, I need to have a confluence or a combination of signals, ideally happening on multiple time frames, and Kamal Scanner thankfully does a lot of that work for us, so that's great. Thank you, Kamal. Number 2, have to have a good risk to reward. It's very important to have a good risk to reward. 2 to 1 is my minimum, bare minimum. Better to have 3, 4 to 1. So if you're willing to be able to risk $100 to the downside, you need to be able to make at least 200, if not more, to the upside to give it a good risk to reward ratio. And then number 3, it's always important to spend a few minutes every day. Think about your positions, how many positions you have, how correlated they are, how much account heat do you have. And lastly, as always, please position size based upon the volatility of the market. The market volatility has increased recently, and so therefore, theoretically, your position size should be going down to adjust for the increased volatility. All right, so I'm going to go to after all that, I'm going to go down through the candidates, going to try to narrow it down, look at multiple time frames, look at the entry signals, look at the risk to reward, and if I find something that makes sense at the end of the day, I will go ahead and purchase it right before the market closes. Then when the market closes, or after the market closes, if you have any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer. If you have any stock symbols that you would like me to look at before the close of the day, you can put them in the live stream, and I'll do my very best to get to them before the close. And then lastly, if you have any new additions or subtractions for me today after the market closes up on the board, if you could wait and tell me about them after the market closes, that way I'm done teaching, I'm done trading, pressure's off, and then we'll spend as much time as we need. Okay, so hang tight. I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, we all set to go? Yes, we are. Let's see who is here today. Lova is here. Hey, how's it going, Lova? Good to see you. Lova says, I mean everyone. I kind of figured that. Quad is here. Good afternoon, Greg Group. Happy Monster Gains Monday. We're having a good day today. I'm having a good day today anyway. Sorry. So I'm grateful for that. Bob says, hello, everyone. Hello, Bob. Lova says, LHX is it a close under 200 SMA, but now back over 200 SMA and a double bottom with a bullish divergence and a V1 trigger? Well, I don't know, but let's look at that. I have to look at that. LHX. Well, it definitely is a close under, close back over the 200. It is a V2. There is no double bottom with the bullish divergence here though, Leva. You might think there is because you have the deep red bars here, and now the bars here are not as deep, but there's no green in between. That's a requirement. Whenever you just have red without any green, it's just considered one big move down. There has to be green in the middle. Dr. Elder calls it breaking the back of the bear. You have to show that there's some upward momentum first, instead of just a total down move. This is nice. It's a little chasey, honestly. We're right at about halfway of this bar. I would much rather, now that we were below the -1 ATR channel, now that we're up in the value zone, I would much rather wait for a couple day pullback, maybe retest that 200 and a V1, V2 there. That would be the way to go for me. Johan is here. Hey, Johan, good to see you, bud. Hope you're having a good evening. Steve Burns is here. Hey, bud, good to see you, Steve. Always nice to have you here. Always an honor and a privilege. I really mean that. So thank you for taking the time and saying hello to us. Hope you're doing well. David says, hi, Greg and group. Hello, Dave. Good to see you, bud. John says, hey, Greg, what are your thoughts on FedEx? Pretty low, but we are still underneath the -3rd ATR channel, John, and we're still underneath the 30 RSI. So I don't see anything there. I would ideally like to see this have to close above 30 at a bare minimum. And if it does, then it will be a little stretchy. Then I'd look for a higher low V1 or V2. So I really don't see anything there that would interest me on FedEx. Frank is here. Hey, Frank, good to see you, bud. Hello, Greg and group. Hello, Frank. Michael is here. Hello, everyone. Hello, Michael Shalinsky. Nice to see you. Thank you for coming. If there's anything I can help you with, let me know. Kamal says, hey, Greg and all. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Good chatting with you today. David says, SIGL, 1,500%. Do not see that every day. Well, I can just imagine what this is going to look like. Sideways motion and a big move up, right? Let's see. SIGL. SIGL. I don't have it. I don't have it on my charts, unfortunately, David. Michael says, city panic, euphoria. Modal time high. City panic, euphoria. I'm not sure I know what that means, Michael. Pat is here. Hello, Pat. Good to see you. Looking forward to our lesson tonight. Hope you are as well. So, all right. Well, let's get to it. Take a look. Alibaba. I did short Alibaba. back here at 231.76. It's 229.49. It is down 2.85% today, and I am now back in the money on the trade. I shorted this on the weekly bar. This bar here, we had a big down bar. It's not uncommon to have a rally back up to halfway, but when I saw the rejection of the halfway mark of the large bar, and I saw the rejection of the 50-day moving average, I went ahead and shorted at 231.76. Last week it did go down. I did hit one profit target, so took a little profits there. But again, I did short at 231.76. It's 229.39, so I'm in the money, not a lot, but in the money, which is good, and glad to see it down 2.91% today. SPY, well, not a good overnight SPY trade. As you know, I do buy the SPY every day at the close, and I sell it first thing the next morning. I bought this Friday at 381.26, and I sold it this morning right at the low, 377.84. So got beat up on that one a little bit, but that's how it goes with the overnight SPY trade. I'll be buying this again at the close, holding it overnight, selling it first thing tomorrow morning at the open. Lilly. Great trade on Lilly. I'm sure everyone is happy to see this. David, Gary, Quad, Johnson, Johan, and myself did buy Eli Lilly back here at 166.14. Nice return to value, sideways motion, V1 trigger, and it is up 11.09% today. This morning when I looked at my phone, I thought, oh my gosh, is that right? And I'm glad. I exited the entire trade here at the open. It's right up near the 6 ATR channel. That was a huge, big move overnight move. There's a lot of chance for a reversal. Could be the wrong decision, but you know, after an 11% gap move, and I don't particularly like the bar right here. It's kind of indecisive. It's right where it opened. It was higher and lower, but I did exit this 2-day trade of 11.05%. So I'm very grateful for that. Congratulations, David, Gary, Quad, Johnson, and Johan. Oil. I did buy oil here at 30.97. It's 35.92. This has been a good trade. It is up 11.99%. I did buy it on the monthly. So it's a little bit longer, not a little bit, it's a lot longer of a trade, but I did buy a under negative third, over negative third, under 30 RSI, over 30 RSI, and a V2. And so I'm in at 30.97. So is down a little bit today, but like I said, up 11, 12% so far. So excellent trade. Ulta, Johnson and myself, we did buy Ulta back here at 277.95 with this break of this fractal point and the 520 crossover. Has moved up nicely. I scale out whenever the market goes up a certain amount. I take a small percentage off. I got out of half here when I thought there was a close below the previous day's low, but I'm glad I kept half. Had another leg up. Today we are down 1.87. We have a close below the previous day's low, and it looks like we're going to lose the 5 EMA. And so therefore, with that being said, I am going to just exit the entire trade. Whenever I get up to a 65 RSI, then my trailing stop, if it doesn't reject the 70, becomes a close below the 5-day. And that looks like it's going to happen today. So I'm going to just take this off and take profits on this as well. And then Google. All right, so I did sell puts on Google expiring June 18th, 2021. I sold them at 11.70. I picked the 11.70 strike price because of the 200 weekly moving average above me as protection and support. And then that 11.70 also dovetailed nicely with the -1 ATR channel and the 50-month moving average. So I covered this position this morning. This is all the way out until June, but I did nab it right at the right time. And so I made 33% on the return on the premium that I sold. I'm a little concerned about the market here. I don't like this daily look. I definitely think Google is going to stay above 1170 by June, but if it goes down, I can just re-enter and I would get higher premium. So I am now out of Google and took profits on Google. Steve says, VIX almost has a new 10-30-day EMA crossover, in which case Steve will implement his put strategy, where he buys weekly puts. Where is my VIX? Here we go. Yeah, it's very close. 2347 to 2350. If we got a surge at the end of the day on the VIX, then that crossover is complete, and that is good back-tested approach, showing that if that happens, that volatility is increasing and could be increasing further in the future. Michael says, sentiment index, city, panic euphoria like CNN fear greed. Oh, I see. Yeah, we were looking at that the other day. I was looking that just yesterday, looking for that double top in the fear euphoria index, and I guess it's not up today, but it was heading back up. Yeah, I'm concerned about the market here, honestly. Gary says, hello, Greg and group. How you doing, Gary? Good to see you. Steve says, Dash currently has a 520 crossover up big today. DASH. Boy, I'd say up 8%. Wow. Bob says, Steve, VIX does, but VXX does not. Does that matter? I think Steve goes off of the index, not the VXX. Quad says, Greg, can you go over puts, as I don't fully grasp the concept of what you are purchasing and how you make profits of them? I don't know if I have enough time to explain that one, Quad. I mean, there's all sorts of things you can do with puts. You can buy them, you can sell them. When you sell puts, that's a bullish position. So, if we go back to Google, essentially, oh, now I erased everything, but I had the 1170, whatever that was, down here. If I'm selling puts and the price stays above there, I get to keep all the premium. I can't make any more than the premium I get, and I can lose more than that. So if you're selling puts, that's a bullish position. If you're buying puts, you think something is going down. But we'll have to spend a little bit more time on that one. That one can't be explained in a few minutes. Ava says, happy Monday, Greg and everyone. Hello, Ava. Nice to see you. Please tell me that you still have TGT. I hadn't seen you, and I was really hoping that you still had it. All right, Frank has a poem for us. Sweet. Let me take this, copy this, paste that, all the stuff I do. All right, let's see what Frank has for us today. I'm excited. Process and plans are words traders understand. Sorry. Process and plans are words traders understand, especially when markets tend to get out of hand. When stocks are affected by supply and demand, we manage by price and stay in command. How good is that? Process and plans, words traders understand. That's true. We need process and plans, especially when markets tend to get out of hand. That's especially when you need them. When stocks are affected by supply and demand, which they always are, we manage by price and stay in command. How good is that? Thank you, Frank. That's just excellent. Man, I don't know where you pull this out of the ether. That's just unbelievable. Steve says, I use the VIX. That is what the back test was based on. Thank you. Got it, Steve. Johnson says, hey, Greg and Game. Happy Monday. Ava's at a TGT a while back. Bummer. That was such a good trade. Well, shoot. Anyway, was profitable anyway. Quad says, thanks, Greg. Would love to see a video on that, or whenever you have time to go into more detail. I don't have any videos on options specifically, but I'm sure on YouTube you could just Google, explanation of different kind of options, and it would explain. But I like options. I really do. All right, let us head on over. Give me 1 second, please. Okay. Give me 1 sec. Let me write this down. Okay. Good. Steve says big gap up on the US dollar index, UUP. Yeah. You know, I was looking at UUP because we had this double bottom with the bullish divergence. Pat, if you're out there, you remember we were talking about this in our last lesson. We just didn't quite have a trigger, but here we have a low. We have a lower low. The low had red. We definitely made some green. We came back down. We went lower than that previous low with just the tiniest little bit of red. That's the double bottom with the bullish divergence, and that's exactly where it bounced from. That's exactly where it bounced. You know, same with VIX. You know, VIX has, it's been down low every time. MACD is still positive. I mean, look at the move up today, up 5.5%. Okay, let's start off with Apple. Let's see. We have Jatin in at 123. We have Frank in at 111. It is currently 128.76, so down today, but both Jatin and Frank are nicely up on the trade. Gold, do we have a gold person in here? No, we don't. Okay, so I'm going to take that off. VIX. We have Gary. Gary is in at 1723. He sold part here on this big move up. He sold another part here, and it looks like he's about even on that last quarter. So he's definitely nicely up on the trade. So excellent, Gary. Amazon. All right. So Kamal did buy an intraday position on Amazon at 31.26.13. It's currently 31.15. So down about 11 points so far on the trade. I'm sure if it closes down a certain amount, Kamal will tell me that he hit his stop and he's going to be able to and get out. Qs. Frank is in the Qs at 284.60. It's 313.93. So it is down today, but Frank is nicely up on the trade. Twitter got hammered today. Yas, I don't know if Yas is still in. He was in at 54.51. And just a huge, big down day today. I mean, look at that gap and down. It's reversed some. Anyway, yes, if you're out there, update me on what you're doing there. We have MasterCard. Gary sold credit spreads. Oh, these are done. These are expired. He got all the money on that. Way to go. Way to go, Gary. Fastly. Johan bought Fastly at 86.80. It's 85.09, so it is down 3.5% today, and it is slightly down on the trade as well. AMC, Bob, in the money on AMC at 210. Now it's 222. It's up 3.74% today. Very nice. Tesla, Jatin bought Tesla at 639.90. It's 808.61. It's down 8% today, but Jatin is still nicely up on the trade. TGT, this was the one we were talking about. A bunch of us took this this trade here. Nice return to value, sideways motion. We bought at 171.64, scaled out. I can't even remember where I got out, but it was a good profitable trade. And some other people got out of it, I think, on Friday. But it looks like Ava was out as well. So we'll take TGT off the board, but man, what a great trade that was. PTON, yes. Ooh, this has been a long one. Yas is in PTON back from 115.97. It's 152.91. It is down 3.76% today, but nicely up on the trade. AMD, nice day on AMD today for Steve, Gary, and Yas and Ramble Ron. They bought AMD with the 520 crossover at 92.39. It's 97.45. It's up 3.02%. And from, we had different entries. Sorry. Okay, I'm just going to go off of the Steve entry here. And this one is up about 2.44%. So excellent. Way to go, guys. DocuSign. Steve and Yas are also in DocuSign. I believe Yas is in at 224.12. Steve is in from 238.88. It's 288.85. It is down 1.5% today, but Steve is still in the money on the trade. So congratulations, Steve. ALGN. All right. Jathan bought this a long time ago at 441. He sold half at 521.90. He sold another half of a half at 550. 557.01 on his quarter remaining position. Down 2.31%, but hugely up on the trade. Airbnb. All right, so Steve and Frank both bought Airbnb. Frank bought it at 149.39. Steve bought it at 148.84. So this is down today, and Steve and Frank slightly down on the trade as a whole. Love, Gary, Johan, Yasser took the trade here with this false breakout to the downside and a V1 at 46.71. It's 47.51, up nicely, up 1.13% today. So that's excellent for Gary and Johan and Yasir. Google. Okay, so Gary has a bunch of credit spreads here that he sold. He sold the January. Okay, so these one, oh no, that's not done. We're not the 15th. And now I erased his MasterCards. He sold the 1570, 1550s, 1550s, 5040, and 1640, 1630s. So this is a bullish position. He wants this to go up. He wants this to stay above 1570, 1550, and 1640 to keep the premium in. But it is down 2.5% today. So that's not good if you have a bullish position, obviously. But he has a lot of protection, and that is the advantage of doing those spreads. Shopify. Kamal bought Shopify at 1,081 a few days ago. It's 1172.27. It is down 1.4% today, but Kamal is still nicely up on the trade. FSLR, Yas bought FSLR at 90.98. It's 103.10, down a little bit today, but nicely up on the trade. Microsoft, Yas is in Microsoft from 213.82. It's 217.20. It is down 1.1% today, but he is still up on the trade. HYLN, Bob bought HYLN at 1577. It's 1698. Nice trade. It's down a little bit today, but Bob is nicely up on the trade. DKNG, Kamal bought at 46.20. It's 53.26. It's up 2.42% just today. So Kamal is up on this trade 13.31%, and Kamal added to his position on Friday, and so he's up on that one as well. So congratulations, Kamal. NIO, oy vey, look at this. Yas and Frank got into NIO at 46.10. Look at this monster move up. Let's see, Gary's puts expired, so he made money on those. What a great trade for Yas and Frank. This one from entry, folks, up 25.78%. Of course, this bar is a bit of a negative, nasty looking bar. We're still above, current price is still above Friday's close, but we are below the open. So this indicates it's bearish. What can I say, right? GoGo. Gary got into GoGo at 1027. It's 1084, up 5.4% just today. Very nice. TAK. David got into TAK at 1790. It's 1830, up nicely on the trade. Pins, which is Pinterest, Jatson got in at 7114 at 7212, up on the day and up on the trade. Visa, Jatson bought Visa at 214.55. It's 212.72, so it's down on the day and down on the trade. PLTR, Jatson got into PLTR at 24.06. It's 25.52, up 1.27%, so up on the day, up on the trade. PSNL, Johnson bought a half position at 35 even. It's at $38. It's up 5.5% just today, and he is up about 8%. Wow, Johnson, very nice, my friend. RKT, Johnson also bought RKT at 1974. It's 1985, so it is up on the trade, a little bit down on the day. Teladoc, Frank bought Teladoc at 182. It is 221.22, down 2.88% today. That's the bad news, but it looks like the good news is that he's up 17.83% on the trade. And then we already did NIO, so that was the last one. All right. So another quick check. So my Alibaba short doing well, in the money. Lily, of course, was a great trade, 2-day trade. I got out right at the open, so I am done and out of Lily, and very grateful for that trade. That was a monster. SPY, I will be buying again at the close, of course. Ulta, I am going to be getting out of Ulta today and just locking in profits, and then I am out of Google. So no more exposure to Google for me. Gary says, Greg, MA put spread expires Friday. I know. Sorry, buddy. For some reason, I thought I didn't sleep very well last night. So I'm struggling today. I did not sleep well at all. No need to put it back up, though. Hopefully it stays at this level. I'll keep it premium. Okay, you let me know. Kamal says, out of Amazon and shop, I will update end of day. Gary says, I took a third off at AMD earlier and 1/2 off Lilly at the open. We'll update end of day as well. Okay, great. Thanks, guys. I think that's a good move. I was debating on Lilly whether I wanted to take all or half, and I was like, when I studied with Dr. Elder, his approach to exits are very ethereal. He basically says, when it's enough, it's enough. He says enough is the power word, and if you've read his books, you'll read that, but enough is the power words of traders. And I looked at that and I said, that's enough. That's enough. I'm happy with that for sure. Lovis said, is Twitter maybe now a potential long? It went below 100 and back above RSI in the 30-35 range and the 100 SMA in an uptrend. I know it showed up on the scanner. I don't like that we rejected the 50-day moving average. Had I bought it lower for whatever reason and it rejected the 50, I would get out of half. I don't like that it rejected 50. I don't like that it rejected the negative third ATR channel. Yeah, it is under 30, over 30, and it's pretty close to 30, so it would give you a decent risk to reward. But I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like the huge gap, never filled the gap, huge volume. Me personally, I wouldn't buy it. I would honestly, I think the move on Twitter, if it were me, I mean, look, it could go up, right? Obviously it could go up, but just from a risk to reward perspective, if I could get a little pullback closer to the 30 RSI and closer to that 100-day, it just would give you a better risk to reward. I just feel like this is chasey right now, Leva. All right, well, listen, let's head over and talk a little bit about trader psychology. As everybody knows, I do like to go through Twitter. I like to go through Facebook. And there's some really great channels that I like to follow, and they post really good trading words of wisdoms, good advice on trading psychology, all the stuff I like to talk about in this segment, because trader psychology, as I mention every day, everyone, that's the number one skill that you need to develop and hone in trading. Support, resistance, chart patterns, yeah, it's important so that you can create a plan, but following your plan is a whole different thing. It's like going on a diet. We all know what it takes to lose weight. We eat better, we exercise more, we cut out sugars, we do all of that stuff. Proven to work, but do we do it? Some of us do, some of us don't. Our emotions, our food emotions get a hold of us and make us break our dieting plan, right? Well, it's the same with trading. We know what works, keeping losses small, letting winners run, right? Having good risk to reward ratios, all that kind of stuff. It works, everyone. It works, but it's hard to follow, just like the diet. So when I saw this from Mark Minervini, and of course I'm sure everyone knows who Mark is, Mark Minervini, he's at Mark Minervini on Twitter. It's a great channel to follow if you haven't. He was one of the market wizards. He has great posts. If Mark says something, it's worth our time to read it. But let's see what Mark has to say. If you feel like a genius because you held the stock through a big loss and it came back and showed you a profit, you are not a genius. You are reckless. That's gambling, not trading. With that type of thinking, eventually you will suffer greatly. Respect risk. And I'll tell you what, everyone, when I read this, it brought me back to that horrible time in my 20s when I was just getting started. And you know how many times I bought something and I didn't have a stop loss and it magically came back and I thought I was strong and smart, all this kind of stuff. Well, then what? I lost over $1 million in WorldCom and Enron. That's right. I had them both, not just one. I had them both. And my thinking was that, well, these other ones came back. These will come back. See, it gets you into a state of mind where the pathways in your brain get set up such that, oh, it's okay, it will come back. It always does. Well, it did not come back for me on WorldCom and Enron. So when I read this from Mark, it hits, it cuts deep because it was really true. Do the right thing, everyone, in your trading. Set your stops, allow for your risk, position size for volatility, and just get out when you hit your stop. Yeah, as soon as you hit your stop, it may go roaring back up. Okay. Tough. It happens to all of us all the time, right? But again, we are here, everyone, to manage risk, in my opinion, not to make money. Making money is just a function of correctly managing risk. So let's read Mark's post one more time. If you feel like a genius because you held the stock through a big loss and it came back and showed you a profit, you're not a genius. You're reckless. That's gambling, not trading. With that type of thinking, eventually you will suffer greatly. Respect risk. True words, everyone. Respect risk. And this market we've had, this has been a euphoric market. In my opinion, it's a bubble. Be extremely careful, everyone. You've been conditioned that things go up and up and up, and they do not always go up. Once you've been trading for a while, you will realize that. If you started trading a year ago, you think that's all that happens, and it's not. The market it's just like the beach and the ocean. Sometimes it can be nice and calm and fun to play around in, but there's other times where it will just tear you up. And I am leaning more towards that's coming than a whole lot more upside. I could be wrong. I'm often very wrong on these kind of things. But again, go subscribe to Mark. This is a great post, Mark, and really hit home for me because I went through this. So 100% truth what Mark is saying here. Steve says, Greg, you could write a great trading book with your stories and your journey. Oh, man. If I think back to that time, Steve, where every single day WorldCom and Enron went down, and after a while, you get into this mode where you're like, smart people say, well, why don't you just sell it? No, 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 can't sell it. It's going to go back up. And you know what would happen if you sold it? If you sold it and it went back up, the pain of not being in it would be greater than being in it and it continuing to go down. See, that's the problem when you start getting into a loss and it starts building and building and building, right? So, if you think something's a good buy at 20 and it gets to 15 or 10, your mind says, hey, why am I selling it here when I thought it was a good buy at 20? And there's one way to not let yourself, for this to happen to you, everyone, is just to get out quickly. The first loss is the easiest loss. It really is. So, that's one of the reasons I started this channel when I decided to do it, because I have been through the worst of it. And I don't want anybody to go through that again. I really don't. And, that's back when I was young and dumb and no experience. And, luckily I was able to make it through and get my act in gear and really start studying trading and to do it the right way. But there's a lot of motivation of why I did that. And that happened because of WorldCom and Enron. So, says Twitter, my stop was hit on Friday. Oh, good. Good to hear that, yes. Take that right off of there. All right. I feel like I'm losing my voice. All right, well, let's take a look at some potentials today, everyone. Steve says 2000 to 2002 were brutal. I was there too. I learned a lot through that drawdown. You learn a lot during your losses. That's when you learn the most because you feel it the most. And you either quit or you get better. If you have a big trading drawdown, that's when people make most of their learning, when they make their learning goals. I mean, if you have a big drawdown, you're like, I need to improve my trading, either my exits or my entries or all of them. When you're trading and everything's going up and looks great, rarely do people work on their trading then because they think they know exactly how to do it. It's when it starts going against you that you're like, hey, I need to reconfigure. And all the times that I've really got in and reconfigured my approaches have been through a drawdown. So yeah, the one good thing about losses is that you do, you learn a lot from them, or you should. You paid for them, right? You paid for the loss. You should get, you've paid some tuition. You better learn from it and not do it again. All right, let's take a look at Lyft here. I'm struggling with this. This is a perfect example of a return to value. Here we're above the 1 ATR channel. We've come into the value zone. We have sideways motion. We have a false breakout to the downside and a V1. This is a perfect example of a return to value. Return to value, sideways motion, V1. The thing that concerns me about this is if I go to the weekly chart, we're up above the third ATR channel. Now, it's better to be above the third ATR channel than below. I do understand that, right? We're at a 67.53 RSI on the weekly. When I look at multiple time frames, I just want to, I want to be okay with both time frames. I don't want to literally hate one time frame, and I kind of do hate one time frame here. I think I just hit. I did. I just hit a profit target on my short on Alibaba. Yay! All right, let's lock that in. Boom. All right, so we'll consider Lyft. Beyond Meat. Kamal and I were discussing this earlier. Earlier, it had gone under 30, over 30, had gone under the negative third, over the negative third. These are all good things. I told him, for me to get involved in Beyond Meat, I also wanted to have a false breakout into V1, but now it's kind of a moot point because now it has lost the 30 RSI as well. So as is, there's nothing there that I see. UNG, golly. You see this, Kamal? This was on Kamal's scanner. I remember earlier in the day when it was down here. Boy, a nice higher low V1 here intraday would have paid off handsomely, wouldn't it? But look at this. We got right to the 50 EMA, 50 SMA here. That's where it got stopped. It's beyond the tolerances of where I could buy it now. It's too high. It doesn't offer a good risk to reward anymore. NLS, Nautilus Group. I really don't see anything there. HRC, I don't see anything here as well. Walmart, MACD's positive. We've had a 520 crossover a couple days ago. Seems pretty range bound right in here. I like that it's up on a down day, but I don't. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, I just don't see it. Netflix, well, kind of a big down day today. I don't see anything here. Possibly we could have a V2 tomorrow with the false breakout if it goes back up and triggers a V2. Alternatively, if it continues to move down, this is the area that I would be looking to buy right here. Right? Look at the confluence of the negative third ATR channel and the 200. That would be the level. To give you good risk to reward. And you know, if there's no buy signals here, I think a lot of people will let this go. The lack of buying will cause it to go down, and then it will probably hold support at the 200 because new buyers will come in. That's kind of how it works. So I would be definitely interested in buying a close under back over the 200 or rejection of the 200 if we get to the 200. Or if we go up, you know, we could have a V2 tomorrow. This is a washout bar. Here's bar 1, 2, bar 2 washes out bar 1. If it does go up tomorrow, we could have a nice false breakout the downside and a V2 and an under 50 over 50, but that is yet to be determined whether or not that's going to be the case. Lockheed Martin, did this go under 30? Yeah, it did. I'll tell you what, I would buy this if there was a MACD divergence here, under 30, over 30 with the V1, but there is not a MACD divergence here. There is a convergence, meaning here we have a low with deep MACD bars. Here we have a lower low with deeper MACD bars, meaning there's more downward momentum here. So I don't like that, so I'm going to pass. VIX, monster. Let's go back over to the VIX chart, see if that crossover has happened. 2358, 2354. Yes, it has happened. At least right now it has. So I imagine that's going to trigger Steve's put strategy. Okay. Well, Kamal had the right instinct on VIX. I don't know if he said it to me personally or on the show. I think he said it to me personally, but it did hold this, and it's up 5.38% today. Wow. SHW, I don't see anything clear there. CHW, no. W, it's a V1. It's a higher low V1. MACD is positive. This is okay. Weekly, it's okay. I think I'm going to pass. Wix, no. Home Depot having a strong day. Home Depot has a 520 crossover. Let me check that real quick. Oh, come on now. Well, over here on ETF Replay, the 520 crossover on Home Depot does backtest well, not very well though, and this is one of the strange scenarios where the backtest from a drawdown perspective was even worse than buy and hold, which you don't see happen very often. So with that, I'm going to pass. EPAM, no. ITB, no. STMP, that one's decent, but it only, I mean, this is a decent higher low V2, sorry, V1 with the rejection of the 200-day. This is probably my favorite one, but of the whole day for sure, but it's only traded 92,000 shares. So I'm going to pass on that. And then Lope, I don't see anything. Hey, everybody, give me about 30 seconds. I have to move the dog around. I apologize. I'll be right back. Okay, here you go, Key. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, you know, if you remember, we were talking about New Year's trading resolutions, and mine was I was going to trade larger, but I was going to be more, I was going to be pickier with my setups, and I just don't see anything that really jumps out to me, you know. So other than my overnight SPY trade, I don't think there's anything I'm going to take. So I'm going to stay short BABA, which is working out. Lily, of course, I'm out of. That was a monster. SPY, buying that at the end of the day. I'm holding USO, and I will be selling Ulta. Yeah, I'm just going to clear the board on Ulta. This does look like it's going to close below. David says, with Beyond Meat, I agree with Frank, and I would not even take it with the V8. Best one-liner ever. I wouldn't take Disney with the V8. Not even V1, V2, no way. Not even a V8. Yeah, I'm not taking Beyond Meat. Gary says, Steve, I believe VIX triggered the 1030 EMA cross. Hopefully my charts are adjusted right now. Last time was looking at SMA. Yeah, well, let's look at it again. What do we have, about 7 minutes? Why does my eye have such a hard time finding that one? 2359 on the 10, 2354. So yes, the crossover is legitimate at the moment. Has to close there though. Steve is long Dash at 166.49. Okay, good. Steve says the VIX EMA crossover is going to be a photo finish. Johnson says AER is V1, but day one bar is a little small. Day one bar, well, let me take a look. Day one bar is a little small, or do you mean a little large? The smaller the day one bar, the better, Johnson. Where you don't want to take it if the V1, if the day one bar is larger than one ATR. From here to here is an ATR. From here to here is an ATR. From here to here's an ATR. So you can mentally, you know, think to yourself, how big is this? Is this one larger? It is. It is larger than 1 ATR. And I also would not take this because the V2 happened above the 1 ATR channel. So it's a little stretchy. Hope that makes sense. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Ulta and lock in profits there. Okay, I am at Ulta. Man, I'm thrilled to have got that second profit target on BABA today. Woohoo! Oh, I forgot to mention, I do have two positions on Alibaba. I have a put position that I sold on Alibaba down here to 130. So Quad, if you're still listening, as long as Alibaba stays above $130 by June 18th, I will be able to keep all the premium. Right now it's at 227, right? So I've got almost 100 points in protection, right? I've got 42% protection. Sounds good. It is good, but doesn't mean for sure it's going to stay there. If it does go down, I'll still be able to keep the premium, but I will be responsible to buy it at 130, even if the price is lower than 130. And how much did I got? I got $299.34 per contract. And I think that worked out to like 7.5% annual return if I remember correctly. So I do like to vary it up. You know, I like to trade monthly time frames, weekly time frame, daily, intraday, obviously, overnight SPY trades. And then I like to trade options on different time frames as well. I just like to have a nice cross section of time. All right, let's get the VIX chart up here so we can look at the phono finish. It's 2360 by 2355, so it is above. Steve says Dash is struggling to hold the 520 EMA now. Frank says, I heard Jack Ma is missing. I read an article, Frank. They said he's just lying low, but he's not missing, for what that's worth. I don't know if the article is correct or not. $23.60 compared to $23.64. 59.54, so it's going to be a close one. We have about 1 minute left. 23.60 to 23.54. It's going to take a big move down for that to uncross, that's for sure. All right, 23.60, 23.55, 30 seconds to go. And it does look like it's going to cross. It does look like it's going to cross. All right, that's it. So I did buy the SPY at 378.69 for the overnight SPY trade. $378.69. Okay. I did get out of Eli Lilly with the big move up, so that's gone for me. I did get out of Ulta, and I locked in profits on Ulta, so I'm done with Ulta as well. So that leaves me only short Alibaba, overnight SPY, and my oil trade, because I did get out of Google today as well. So listen, this is the time. If you have any new entries for me or exits, we'll get them up on the board and taken care of and get everybody straightened out. But before I do, just a reminder, I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a 15-hour course. It's a great course. It's 5 sessions, 3 hours each session. I teach you everything I've learned in my 25 years of experience. I teach you everything I've learned from all my coaches and mentors. It's a pretty intense class, but when you're done with it, I know you're going to be a better trader. I am just certain of it. I am raising the price starting February 16th. I haven't raised the price for 2 years, so I think it's time. And I've had so many clients too that I'm running out of time, so I do have to increase the price. But if you book it before February 16th, it's still the old price, which is $1,000. So I hate to just, if you've been thinking about it and all of a sudden you find out the price is higher, I wanted there to be a little time window and some notice, right? So if you do it before February 16th, which is my birthday, it'd be the same price for $1,000. So if you're interested, you can email me. Email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter. And if you do, I'll reply. I'll say, hey, let's set up a Skype call. Let's talk. Tell me about your trading, your goals, your challenges. Then you can ask me questions. And then when we're done with the call, you can think it over. And if you want to take the course, you can get back to me and we'll schedule the course. It's that easy. And then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I really would appreciate it if you found it helpful, if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps build the channel. It helps keep the channel around. It helps YouTube know that there's some valuable content here. So if you did find something positive or helpful today, I would appreciate if you could click the thumbs up button before you click on out. Okay, so now Steve is long dash. Where did that post go? 166. $49. Okay. So that's Steve. Steve with the 520 cross. Okay, good luck there, Steve. Oh, I exited dash as the 520 closed back under. Never mind. Okay. I'm going to take that one off. I should have read that one first. Okay. Gary is out of a third of AMD. Out of a third. All right. Out of half a Lilly. Out of 1/2. I think that's a good move there. The half move is always good. Out of 1/2 of Love. Okay, locked in some profit. Nice. out of 1/2. Okay, so you bought SPY puts. All right. Interesting. Interesting. So let me copy this. Okay, so you bought weekly puts on the SPY expiring Friday. So those of you not familiar with options, the SPY has to close below 378 by Friday, including the time premium he paid, and he paid $277 per contract. And he's doing that because the 1030 EMA crossover on the VIX, that is a good back-tested strategy. Doesn't mean it's going to work every single time, right? But that was Gary's plan, and that's why he did that. David is out of Lily with me. Any thoughts on PLTR and mRNA? Well, PLTR is definitely a higher low V1, and it did close above 50. Yeah, well, you're already in that, Jatson. I mean, what it did today would make me feel better about being in that position, right? I mean, oh no, sorry, not Johan. That's Jatson that owns it. But if Jatson should feel good about what's going on here. But yeah, we closed below the -1 ATR channel. We washed out. Here's bar 1, bar 2, washed out bar 1, closed above the moving averages, closed above 50 RSI. Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite ones on the day. I think my favorite one was the other one, stamps.com maybe, but not enough volume. And mRNA, Moderna. It's okay. I like PLTR better because let's see, did we reject the 50 RSI today? We certainly rejected the 20 EMA. Yeah, we did. We already rejected the 20 EMA. It's happened back over here, and we fully rejected the 50 RSI. So it does have a V1, but it's a V1 that rejected the 50 already. So if I was in this from an earlier spot, I would be getting out of half today. So I don't like this one as much as your PLTR. Johan is out of half of Lily. Good. Glad to see that, everyone. Look, if it goes racing up tomorrow, you'll be glad you have half, right? You know, almost every one of my teachers and coaches has always tried to put into my head that when you have a big up move, like this today on Lily, take something off, right? Always take something off on a big up impulse strong bar. And I mean, this is about as strong as it gets, right? So I decided to just go ahead and take the whole thing off. But 50% makes a lot of sense as well. Okay, so Steve also bought the SPY puts along with Gary. Okay, so Steve bought the 379s, Gary bought the 378s. Okay. Yes, is that a DocuSign? Okay, Steve's still in. That looks like the only one remaining there. Out of Microsoft. Okay, so we are clear of Microsoft now. And 1/3 AMD left. Yes. 1/3. Okay, 1/3 remaining. Okay, Quad says, hey Greg, I'm out of Lily and got into GoGo last week, but did not see me on the board today. Oh, I apologize, bud. Well, let's put you on there because you had a nice day with Gary. Okay, and you got out of Lily. Okay, so we'll take Quad off the board there. Frank says, in Snap. I haven't seen that stock for a while. All right, Frank's in Snap at 53.81. Hey, good price. $53.81. And that's Frank, half position. Okay. Quad says, I sold a quarter position of GoGo today with the big up bar. All right. Sold 1/4. I'm glad to see that. Taking off into a little strength. Kamal is at a shop in Amazon. Okay. So Kamal is at a... Nice trade, Kamal. Nice profitable trade on Shopify. And then over on Amazon, that one is a bit of a loss, but good trade. Follow your plan with your superpower of getting out when you hit your stop. Johnson out of half of Lily. Okay. Love says, Steve, the entry into Dash was based on your IPO crossover, correct? I think that's what he said, yes. Johan says, listen to a few Minervini's interviews. He's big on selling into strength as well. Yeah. Yeah, I really am. I spend most of my time with my research in how to get out at profitable levels. I mean, getting in and getting out when your stops hit, that's fairly easy, right? But there's a lot of things you have to consider. You have to let it run enough because you need bigger gains to pay for your losses. But, that's why I just sell a portion into strength every day if I have it. If we reject the 70 RSI, reject the 50 RSI, if we reject the 50 MA, those are all kind of bearish negative signs. So Gary says, thanks, Greg. Enjoy your hike. Hope everyone has a great day. Thanks, Gary, and nice trading today. And Pat got into SDC last Thursday. So this is Monday. Okay, at 1164. Well, that one seems like it's worked out pretty well for you, Pat. And I'm looking forward to our lesson tonight. Okay. Nice trade. That's a low dollar stock, so that probably a pretty decent, 4.12%. That's outstanding. So I feel pretty light on my positions. Down to a short BABA down to a long overnight SPY trade and down to a long oil trade. That's it. And it feels good. And today was a massive day. I mean, very grateful for that. Let's see what's going on after hours. BABA is down. Qs are up a little bit. The Dow Jones up a little bit. SPY's up. And VIX is down. Gary says, one last question. I see a lot of momentum traders add to their positions on the way up. What is the rationale as opposed to swing traders? Well, it's kind of two different schools of thought, really. And there's pluses and minuses. I mean, if you pyramid, I mean, that's essentially pyramiding, adding to your position. If you're pyramiding, the majority of the time you're going to have wins that are turning into losses because you are adding at higher prices and then it will come back. But, you know, the strategy with that is that once in a while you're going to catch a monster huge move and you're going to have a very heavy position. The turtle traders, that's what they did. They pyramided, you know, they bought contracts. I guess they shorted as well on commodities. I think whenever a commodity would go up 2%, they would add a new position, right? There was a whole strategy to it, but most of the time, I think their winning percentage was like 31%, if I remember correctly. So very low. But when, you know, what they would rely on one or two commodities or whatever that they were trading to have one big, huge move up, and that's where they would make all their money. So nothing wrong with it. There's pluses and minuses to it. You know, what is the rationale as opposed to swing trader? Just two different approaches. You know, it really comes down to psychology. I need 65% win rate just for my psyche. It's very tough for me to go off a 30% win rate. Plus, I don't like to hold things for a long time, for pyramiding, you kind of do, right? Very uncomfortable. So it doesn't feel good in my skin, that approach, but not that it doesn't work. A lot of people, the guy that the guy that bought the Boston Red Sox, you remember the Rogue Trader movie? Well, he basically took all of Bearing Bank's money by being on the other side of that. So, all right. Well, good trading, everyone. Go out, do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile, a wave, do a nice something, a little favor for them, help them out. They're going to appreciate it. And then if you could also go out and do something for an animal, do a nice kindness for an animal, the animal will really appreciate it and it will be good for you as well. So if we all did that every day, one nice thing for a human, one nice thing for an animal, the world would be a better place. Love says, might be a nonsense question regarding Steve's IPO. Would an IPO that qualifies on its 20th day mean anything special as compared to an IPO that doesn't qualify until much later? I don't know about that, Lova. I don't even really think I could add anything to that. Would an IPO that qualifies on its 20th day mean anything special as compared to an IPO that doesn't qualify until much later? I don't think so. I don't think that would have anything to do with it. I could be wrong, but that's kind of what my gut. I don't see any rationale why one would be better than the other or vice versa. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to go for my hike. I'm going to come back. I'm going to take a little nap. So I'm nice and rested for my lesson tonight with Pat. And Pat and I are going to get into it. And we're going to do some serious chart study. Johan says, thanks, Greg. Have a great hike. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Thank you, Johan. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Happy hiking. Have a great day. All right. I will hopefully see everybody tomorrow, during the last hour. And again, if you like today's podcast, if you could hit that thumbs up button on the way out, I would really appreciate it. So thanks again, everyone. See you all tomorrow, hopefully. Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.